Hello everyone and welcome back. We just got a new 4.1.1 PTU patch a little while ago, and we do have some updates to go over, like some new bombs being added to the in-game shops that you can purchase, some different sizes. We also have some data mines of bomb racks that could potentially be leading to us being able to equip bombs to ships that normally don't have them. We also have an update where you should be able to now quantum travel to a ship that you leave in deep space. And then we also have some adjustments to a few ship weapon sounds, some complete changes for a couple of them, and some of them haven't been changed yet, but we're going to do some testing on that. So if you want to see some of the latest things going on in the PTU leading up to this year's Invictus, then sit back, relax, and enjoy the video. Alright, so again, under weapons and items, they have added size 3, size 5, and size 10 bombs to Convention Center and Center Mass at Area 18 and New Babbage. So let's take a look. So we're going to go to vehicle weapons. Let's go to bombs. I think it's just, so we have the Thunderball bomb, size 3. The Stormburst bomb, size 5, which I believe this is the size of bomb the A1 carries. And then we have the Colossus, which is your size 10 that goes in the A2. So we have 10,000 AUEC for the size 3, 34,000 for the size 5, and 642,000 for the size 10 bomb. Let's see, do we have any... Let's look under missile racks, see if we have anything here. Not seeing any specific missile racks that mention that they are carrying bombs, but again, there was some information that was data mined regarding that. Let's go first. We're going to go take a look at the Idris store really quick, see if there's any other notable changes there, and then we'll go take a look around the convention center, see if we can find any differences. Potentially there'll be some other things on display there. Maybe there's some new bomb racks there. We'll go take a look. All right, running around the areas up here for the Idris tour, I'm not seeing anything new off the bat. We still just have the missile PDCs and these new size 12 torpedoes. I don't think you can buy them from right here, but I have seen, I think possibly at Center Mass or those weapon shops that would sell them, you can buy them, although I don't think you really can do much with them because they only go in the Javelin. So we don't really have much use for that quite yet. So with that, let's go ahead and let's go take a look at the convention center and see if there's any changes there. All right, so it doesn't look like we have ships in the halls yet. Let's check the layout here. We still have this little area that is not labeled with anything, but there is a little indicator of where there should be something. That's the lower level. Right now there's nothing there. So there may still be some little secret thing they're going to put there. Not entirely sure. Let's take a look and see if we have any bomb racks or anything like that. We can see here. We can see the bombs on display here. I feel like these were already there, but maybe, I don't know, maybe they weren't. Still have our flight blades here, not able to interact with them at all. We still don't have those in. I don't know, maybe they're just, maybe it's something they're just going to drop when the patch goes live. They don't think it's going to need that much testing. I don't know. But they're there, but yeah, I can't get them quite yet. I realized I had my game audio muted on OBS, so I apologize that you just had to listen to my voice and not have the game background music for the last few minutes. I did show this in yesterday's video, but again, there is going to be a new size 5 bespoke ballistic Gatling gun, the NV57 ballistic Gatling, coming for the Nova tank. So I believe what I've seen, it has, I think, 3,200 rounds, and it seems like it'll pack quite a punch. So it'll be very interesting to try that out. I'm sure you'll probably be able to buy it in game. They may also include it in like some weapon packs or something on the pledge store. We'll just have to see. One other new thing I'll mention again is there is this new turret that's coming for the Scorpius. It's an alternative to the gun turret up top. It gives you, I believe it's 16 size 2 missiles. I guess I don't really see much point for this if you're running with a co-pilot. The only thing I could see is potentially if they were to give this missile turret like controlled by the pilot, that would be better. I think that would be an option. Because then you could run even more missiles. I think the Scorpius already has... I think it already has 16 size 2 missiles in these integrated missile racks. So potentially if you could get this to just run from the pilot, that'd be cool. Will that be the case? Probably not. So a little bit interesting. Might try it out. But just, you know, some more options for the Scorpius turret. Now, something that is new is, so in yesterday's build, we had seen the new armors. These, I'm assuming you're either going to be able to buy from these little screens here, or there'll be things you can get on the pledge store, but the skins for the Volt SMGs were not on there, but they are now, so there's a similar skin that goes with the gun as the armor. This is called the Quartz New Dawn SMG. And then if we go down here, we can see it's kind of a blue and some kind of gray, a little bit of white. Now on that similar theme to this armor, this is the Quartz Clawed Steel Energy SMG. And then if we go down a little further, we have this third set that, again, has the similar layout to the armor. Kind of got the yellow on the back. You got this another blue and sort of whites with some grays pattern. And this one is the Quartz True Valor SMG. So pretty cool. Just, you know, some more little skin things. Like I said, you might be able to buy these from these little kiosks once the patch goes live. Or they might just be little gear packs you can get, maybe with some new items and weapons and things like that. But yeah, nice to see those are in now. Doesn't look like we have any further changes to this little area here. So still don't know if we're going to be getting anything here, but again, it is labeled on the map, so who knows. Now, something interesting to look at is in Urkel here, there are actually a few ships that have been updated to apparently have compatibility with some of those new bomb racks that were mentioned. So one of them is going to be the Gladius. So if we look here under the missile rack, we click on that, we have here a size 3 CST 313 Castillo rack. Now it's grayed out because we currently cannot buy it. It says there is one port, so one slot for a payload device, and the port max size is 3. If we click that, then if we select what to put on there, we do have an option to select the Thunderball size 3 bomb. And this bomb, according to what it says, it has let's see, 1000 HP, and it does 27,000 damage with a explosion radius of 40 meters. Let me see really quick how that compares. Let's compare it to the A1. Let's see here. So the A1's bombs have a radius of 100 meters, and they do 46,000 damage. And then let's look at the A2. On the A2, we have the Colossus bombs. So those are doing 568,000 damage each with a radius of 250 meters. So these size 3 bombs have, I believe it's half the effective radius. Well, I guess a little bit less than half of the effective radius of these bombs the A1 Spirit has. And they do about close to half the damage. But I mean, 27,000 damage from a single bomb, though, that's pretty significant. If you can land that on like a landed ship or a, you know, like a ground target of some sort, that is going to do a lot of damage. Then the cool thing will be is that, you know, you can coordinate with people to drop like 8, 10, 12 bombs in a, you know, a selected area, all within a close proximity. You're going to be able to cause a lot of mayhem. So again, it looks like you are able to you can equip these bomb racks to some of these ships, but they don't look like the racks themselves have been put into the game yet. But I would not be surprised if we get those probably early next week before the patch goes live. That may be another new little item thing that they're adding, that I think for a lot of ships, like if they add those sorts of things for the Gladiator, that's going to make the Gladiator pretty darn useful, because the Gladiator is very tanky. It's meant to be kind of a multi-role bomber craft. It has four size 5 torpedoes, but you could also, again, mount some of those these size 3 bombs onto the wings, so you can torpedo bigger ships, you can bomb the ground targets. I think there's a lot of possibilities with these going forward. So I'm really looking forward to trying those out. We'll have to do that in another video once they have the bomb racks in and we can equip them to the ships, but thought I'd point that out for you all nonetheless. So now that we've checked out the Invictus halls and found any little changes there, let's go ahead and we're going to now go test out this QT change. So again, in the gameplay section, they say they have enabled QT quantum travel to owned unattended vehicles. So what this should be is we're going to go test this. I'll pull a F7, put it in my Polaris. and then we'll go fly out somewhere, quantum away from the Polaris with the F7, and then we should be able to set a marker or directly quantum back to the ship. So let's go ahead and jump to that and test it out. Alright, we've got our Hornet in the hangar of the Polaris. We're going to close it up, fly up to somewhere into space, quantum away in the Hornet, then we'll see if we can quantum back directly to the ship. Now, as I was flying up here, I just realized something. So with the, you know, changes of some of these turrets and things being added for some other ships, I just had a thought that maybe we could see, or something that I think could potentially be a good idea, is this missile turret on the back upper part of the Polaris. Someone just crashed into me? I don't know. Maybe they could make a different turret for this where you could just have more guns on it, because I think that'd be a lot more useful, to be honest. This turret has 12 missiles, which really is just not all that useful. So if they made this, you know, another, same as the, if we go down here, this lower remote turret that has 4 size 3s, if they just did that up here, I think that would be another, you know, a good option that would give a little bit more firepower for that crew member, make it help them feel a little bit more useful, and give a little bit better topside coverage for the ship. So I think that'd be a really cool addition that we could see. So maybe we'll see it, maybe not, but just a little thought I had. Okay, so we're in the middle of space now, QT'd partway to Walla. So let's go jump in the Hornet. We'll just quantum away to some random marker for a moment. And we'll see if, I don't know if it'll give us a marker or if you just kind of point at the, like the name of the ship and it will calibrate. I don't know. We'll see. Okay, so we'll go ahead and lift off from the Polaris. Then let's go ahead. Let's QT, let's start a QT to ArcL5. Okay, so we'll just let it quantum travel for probably like 10 or 15 seconds here, and then we'll stop, turn around, and see if we can go back to the Polaris. Alright, we'll go ahead and stop. Let's turn around here. So we do have the marker for the, I see the name for the Polaris. So, and how might we quantum travel back to it? Let's see. Maybe it shows up on our map. Over here. Oh, yeah. So there is a marker on the map for it. You can see right here. You click that, and we can click route. Okay. And then I might have to cycle my quantum drive. So it doesn't look like it shows any actual, like, marker, per se, like how a typical marker would look. But if you're pointed at the name of the ship and you have it set as your route, looks like we should be able to quantum back there. So let's QT back real quick and see if we end up where we left. Okay, so it looks like it put us 10 kilometers away from the Polaris. We can target it, so it should be there. So looks like that works out pretty well. Now, one thing I thought is, you know, I wonder, I was like, well, you know, why would they suddenly implement this now? Potentially, what this could be is if they end up releasing the Idris is a carrier. So you're probably, if you're playing in a group, you're going to have ships coming and going, doing different things, combat, all sort of, you know, depending on what you're doing. If you're keeping that ship in the middle of deep space, because you don't want to be found or whatnot, potentially, you know, having this enabled, being able to QT directly to that ship, is going to be very, very helpful. So maybe that's why they got it in now. I don't know. Maybe I'm just going crazy, but that was a thought I had as to why we're suddenly seeing this this feature turned on now. So next we are going to test out some of the ship weapon audio changes. So I just noticed that when I was flying in my Zeus earlier, I just fired the Omnisky cannons and they sounded completely different. And I was like, oh, well, that's weird. And then I tested the turret on it and the Panthers sounded completely different as well. So we're going to buy a few different weapons, some laser and ballistic, throw them on the Polaris turrets. And then we're going to go switch between them, test them out, see what they sound like and all those sorts of things. So we already have some Omniskys on the turrets for the Polaris by default, so we'll leave that. We'll probably do like 2 of those, and then maybe let's see. Let's get 2 of the M-series cannons. Let's see, we'll go for M6As. We'll buy 2 of those. Let's get 2 of the Deadbolt 4s. And let's get 2 Rhinos as well to test those out. And then I'll also grab a couple Mantis Gatling guns just out of curiosity. We'll throw those on one of the size 3 turrets, and we can also show you what the Panther repeaters sound like. I don't know if they'll be any different in their sound compared to the Rhinos. We'll have to see. Let's go equip those to the Polaris, and then we'll go test them all out. Okay, and I'm going to switch these. I did notice that there is a slight name change on the default PDC turrets that the Polaris has. They now have a designation under them that says M2C Swarm. So that may just be the name they're giving them. Again, there do seem to be some other options coming, like some missile PDCs that you could potentially use. So good to see that there's just a little update there. Okay, so we'll leave 2 Omniskies on this one, and then we will put 2 of the M6As on. They have also added an actual name for the Polaris gun, by the way. It's now called the Maris Cannon. That's the name for the bespoke weapon on the Polaris. Okay, and on this turret, we'll put on 2 Rhinos as well as 2 Deadbolt 4s. And then on this other man turret, we'll throw on 2 of those Mantis Gatling guns so we can go test all of those out. So we've got all that equipped. Let's go pull the Polaris up and see what has changed. Alright, so I believe this is the turret that is going to have the 2 Omniskies and the 2 M7A laser cannons. So let's go ahead and try these out. We'll set them in separate weapon groups so we can fire them separately. Let me do that real quick. Alright, we got the Omniskies selected, so we're going to go ahead and just do I'm just going to fire for a few seconds so you can see the new recoil pattern that they have as well as the new sound. So there we go. There is that. They do sound really, really nice. I like the refresh to it. The recoil, you know, nothing too crazy. Again, you can adjust that under the game settings and options. It's right down near the bottom by the G-force slider. I'm going to go ahead and just lower it down right now to, let's say, 0.4. We'll change it to that. So now let's go ahead and let's try out the M6A laser cannons. That's interesting because the M series cannons sound the exact same, so maybe they just haven't updated those sounds yet. So interesting. Let's hop over to the other turret, and we'll check out the Rhinos that I put on there, and I believe also the Deadbolt 4s. Alright, we've got our Rhino repeaters selected. We'll go ahead and fire those for a few seconds and see if that sound has changed. So it doesn't seem like the sound on the Rhinos has changed, although as we'll see in a moment, the sound on the Panthers has been changed. Let's go ahead and let's try the Deadbolt real quick as well. There we go. So those sound the same as well. So no adjustments there. Next, let's hop over to the side turret where I have some Mantis Gatling guns, and then we'll also test the Panther repeaters as well. I know for a fact that the Panthers sound different, so let's hop over there and check that out. Alright, so let's go ahead and we'll do the Mantis Gatling guns first, see if there's any difference there, and then we'll check the Panthers. Okay, so it seems like the Mantis Gatling guns are the same. So it may be that they have reworked the sound on some of the guns now, but maybe they're doing further work on that, further sound work. Maybe that's one more thing we'll get with Invictus is, you know, some reworks on some of the gun sounds. But now let's do the Panther repeaters so you can hear what the new sound on these is like. So there you go. They do sound very, very nice. I'm really hoping that similar sound goes to the other laser repeaters, you know, the ones smaller than the Panthers, ones bigger up. Maybe there'll be a little bit different sound for the bigger ones. I don't know. But they do sound very cool. So I guess the two that I've noticed on so far then is the Omnisky cannons as well as these Panther repeaters. So I would expect potentially maybe some more updates with further PTU patches. I haven't noticed this in any other patches, so I'm assuming this is new, and it just wasn't mentioned in the patch notes at all, so very, very interesting. Now I do want to test one other thing. So I have my Hornet here, it just has the stock loadout on it, so by default it has 4 size 3 Omnisky cannons, so these are a size lower than the size 4s on those Polaris turrets. So I thought, maybe, you know, let's try out these, see if these have a similar sound change. And then we do have the Revenant Gatling guns on the wings. So we'll just try those real quick as well, just see if there's any change there. Let's do the Omniskies first. So that's a little bit odd. The sound on those is the same as it has been, so I guess they have not changed. It's like, so far it's only the size 4 Omniskies and the size 3 Panthers. So very, very odd. I guess we'll test the Revenants really quick too, just in case there's been any changes to that sound. It seems like we don't have any changes there either, so good to know. We'll just have to keep an eye out and see if we notice any other ship sounds that get changed, maybe before the patch goes live, or maybe there'll be some of it that happens as we get into the next patch after Invictus. But that is going to do it for this video, checking out the latest changes in the 4.1.1 PTU. You know, we're getting down to where it's getting close to going live, so there probably won't be as many drastic changes. I think we still maybe have some room for some surprises, some surprise little drops of information in the files. Hopefully we can get some information on that. If I do, I will make sure to let all of you know if it's, you know, more leaks for ships or weapons, items, anything like that. We'll make sure to check that out when it becomes available. But if you enjoyed this video, feel free to leave a like, as it really helps the channel. And if you want to see more Star Citizen testing videos and videos related to all the things Invictus and going forward, feel free to subscribe as well. And that is going to do it for today. But until next time, I'll see you in the verse.